Never say it's not possible, because these are the games that defied system limitations. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 retro games that pushed their systems to the limits.
Clean slate. Yeah, clean slate. This anti-gravity chocolate was kind of working. That's will do. At the window with that.
For this list, we're focusing on games that were technical milestones on their respective consoles. We're setting a limit to the 5th generation consoles, i.e. PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 era. Anything higher is a list for another day. Number 10, Solaris. The Atari 2600 kicks off our list with the most impressive game on the system. Most 2600 games tend to have graphics that look like this. Solaris, however, truly showed what the system was capable of, with graphics rivaling that of an early NES game, along with a progression system unseen in other games on the system. This is one hidden gem worth checking out. Number 9, Kirby's Adventure. Mario 3 may be the game that players remember as one of the best looking NES games, but Kirby showed off what the system was truly capable of. Released right at the end of the NES's lifespan, this game features extremely high detailed sprites and smooth scroll speeds. More amazing is the fact that the game didn't suffer from any of the sprite flicker which plagued a lot of the late life NES titles. Number 8, Another World. Known as Out of This World in North America, this game was a pioneer for using in-game 3D cutscenes in the early 90s. Originally developed for the Amiga and Atari ST computers, the game would later go on to be ported to other 16-bit consoles, including the SNES and Genesis, with its content kept mostly intact. Also worth mentioning is developer Delphine Software's follow-up, Flashback, which was done in the same style as well. Number 7, Metal Gear Solid. During the PlayStation 1's lifespan, most 3D games attempted to mask the system's limitations using pre-rendered backgrounds, or fully rendered full-motion videos. But Hideo Kojima's masterpiece defied expectations as to what the system was capable of, with full 3D environments and cinematic cutscenes done completely in-engine. It may look a bit muddy now, but this was really ahead of its time.
I'm here to save you. You're the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, right?
Number 6, Resident Evil 2 N64 port. The N64's biggest weakness was that the game cartridges could only hold a small portion of data compared to CDs. But Angel Studios proved the impossible and was somehow able to squeeze the contents of 2 PS1 CDs into one 64-megabyte cartridge. Originally, the developer wanted to port Final Fantasy VII to the N64, but Square thought that it would be really impossible. The FMVs may have been compressed, but everything was still there and quite enjoyable.
Man, what a mess! What could have done this?
Number 5, Shantae. WayForward's debut franchise was quite the standout, showcasing outstanding 2D graphics and animation, as well as a seamless day and night system in a Metroidvania-style world. And by the way, this was all done on the Game Boy Color. Good luck getting a physical copy though, as auctions on eBay for this game start as little as $200 and go up to $1,000. Or you can just get it on the 3DS eShop for $5. Number 4, Panorama Cotton. If you haven't heard of this game, there's a good reason for that. It was only released in Japan on the Sega Mega Drive. Merely beholding its graphics and soundtrack makes it hard to believe that this is technically a Genesis game. This 3D on-rails shooter has you playing as a witch named Cotton, with the help of a fairy that's not quite as annoying as Navi, out to stop the world from falling into chaos. Number 3, Donkey Kong Country Trilogy. Just when the SNES's potential was all but used up, along came British developer Lair, who quite literally saved Nintendo from being overshadowed by the 32-bit systems coming out at the time. Using pre-rendered 3D sprites and backgrounds, as well as the ability to display more on-screen colors than any other SNES game at the time, CDs would have to wait a little bit longer before becoming the new standard. Number 2, Dragon's Lair. Around the time this game came out, most other games in the arcade looked like this. Or this. Safe to say, this game really stood out. Using Laserdisc technology, it was the first to ever use full motion video and high-quality voiced audio.
Please save me! The cage is locked with a key.
It should also be mentioned that the Game Boy Color port was quite the achievement as well. Yeah, you heard that right. There is a Game Boy Color port. The sound took a nosedive, but the animation was kept intact. Before we get to number 1, let's take a look at some of the other games that wowed us back in the day.
A frying pan. You stupid little...
Number 1, Star Fox. Known as Star Wing in Europe, this game takes the top spot for showing off the unheard of. Released to show off the capability of the Super Nintendo Super FX chip, the game featured full 3D polygon models in a rail shooter environment, and became the granddaddy of 3D games to come. Despite the SNES sequel getting cancelled, Star Fox remains a prime example as to why you should never call a system underpowered. Agree with our list? Which games do you think performed technical wizardry? For more eye-catching top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I remember. First I'm strip searched by Dr. Naomi here, and then all my weapons are taken away. Imagine yourself put in that position.